The old 9-iron flopperoonie. You gotta open it wide up. Have that shaft leaning back, aiming towards belly button. We want to feel like we get it going straight back. Let it go. Flop it down. Add a little extra on the bottom. Just to give it that terrible little flip. Oh! That one was soft. Soft and delightful. Flynn Golf Lab. Hopefully you've enjoyed the previous 2 videos we did on right arm release, right hand release, left arm pull, left hand release, left hand control, face control, etc. And then we get to the really fun stuff, the powerful stuff in the golf swing. These hands can mess up everything that we provide by turning back, coiling up, getting that proper bend and spine and extension going both directions. If those hands decide to let go, help, not fight and stay in the fight. They fly out of the swing, thin it, fat it, scoop it. Just their ability to let go allow for the turn to do everything, for the proper pivot to do everything for us, to feel that external rotation, to tap into the glutes, the hamstrings, biggest muscles in your body. You want to utilize them. And when we're turning properly and pivoting properly, then we're able to utilize them. And then the arms just don't feel like they need to do very much work at all. We just feel like I'm turning up, letting go, turning through, and that pull through there and that rotation and that turn sends it. And it just doesn't feel like we're doing much work in the arms and the hands. They're not fighting the swing. They've released, they've let go. I actually feel like I release right here. I just turn up. I'm done turning. The momentum of the club is going to hinge my hands a little bit. Let my wrists set. And then I'm just turning down and through, and I feel like way over here. The club releases again. Because I can't turn any more than either of those 2 positions. The releases feel like they're here and here in the golf swing when we're turning and pivoting properly. When we're turning and pivoting properly, we need to be set up properly. So setup feels like, we're over the balls of the feet. Anything I say or do has been said and done 1,000 times by a million different golf instructors. I'm just reiterating it in my own words, which I think allows a bit more of a kinesthetic learning ability on your end, on that end of the screen. In here, in-person lessons, I can manipulate people, move their bodies, get them to feel something. And until you can feel that movement, that muscle activated and working for you, you don't know what you're doing. So if you're just watching and listening and you're not actually moving to this video and trying to get into these positions, you don't know what that actually feels like. And that feeling then informs the brain on what's actually happening. Brain doesn't understand it until body feels it, until hips feel turn. Just getting into this turn, that's me turning back here. Glutes turning, because I'm really already engaged in my glutes. A great way to set up is just to squeeze your butt, don't let go of that, and just bend over at the hips. Let the tension out of the shoulders. When we're alive down here, when we're active in these muscles, they will move for us. And when they're actively, consciously moving us to start the swing, they'll be actively moving us throughout the swing because they are so active. And the arms and the hands are letting go, not taking over. We don't need to feel like we hinge the club up. We're already really hinged. And when we turn, we see all these guys up here. We don't need to overhinge. When we're turning properly, it just feels like turn, let go of it, turn and go. And we're just going to get into the details of what that feels like. So at setup, you want to be on the balls of the feet, feel those glutes engaged a little bit, and we're just bent over. We need proper spine angle behind the ball. This is a throwing sport. Spine is always going behind the ball. If we're trying to really bomb it, spine is way back if we're trying to throw an 80-yard touchdown pass, or we're trying to really throw a heater in baseball. We're really bending and letting that spine bend back. So we have to feel what that's like. If I don't bend, my head's gonna go way over here. No bend in the left side. So we feel like the beginning of the swing, after we get that proper setup, which is glutes, shoulders relaxed, hold this against your arms, feel your arms held against your body. And once we feel that, we get that proper spine angle, okay? That's just sending my hips forward a little bit. That sends my head going back. So my nose ends up, for lack of a proper term, nose behind nuts. We wanna feel like we're back here, not up here. We can be pretty neutral and we can swing really well, but we cannot hit the ball very well from being over here. losing spine angle, losing pivot, and having this sway. So we want to feel, everybody starts the golf swing with a weight transfer. The first move for every great player, if we slow it down into real slow motion, is a move. It goes about an inch, a half inch back. Some players, a 5-inch movement back. So we want to feel like we're on that left side. First move is just sinking into that right heel, going from balls of our feet into that right heel, sitting on the butt. Because that's engaged, now we want to feel the second move is partially left bend, it's bending over and hips turning. This is such a complex movement, but when you break it down to these little bitty steps, it becomes simpler. So I bend and my hip goes this way, not out. Knees can move, hip goes this way. A really easy way to start feeling that in your everyday life, just stand on that leg and turn that hip. If it goes out sideways and you lose your spine angle, you're swaying, and we want to be pivoting properly. You can do this wherever you are. Girlfriend, wife, husband, whomever is talking, you can just be like, okay, just like post up on that leg, be like, okay, turn a little bit. Feel like we're turning and sitting on that. If knee goes outside and you get to the outside of the foot like that, you're swaying. You can't have any leverage. We would never throw a ball like this, right? We're gonna be on that leg, that knee's gonna be on the inside of the foot, we're gonna be on that butt, and we're gonna go. Can't do it from out here. So wherever you are, we can work on this fun stuff, Somebody's talking and you're just like, oh wait, hold on, all right? Squeeze the glutes a little bit. They don't need to know what you're doing. You probably checked out of the conversation already anyways. Squeeze them a little bit and just sink into that heel. Turn that hip a little bit. They'll be like, what are you doing? You're like, I got a kink. Maybe I slept a little weird last night. So when we start feeling that, and we've done that, everything in golf comes down to numbers. It's a numbers game. If you've done that 1,000 times, it's probably gonna start showing up in your golf swing. If you've done this exercise 1,000 times, 2,000, 3,000 times, that's what? Let's talk about numbers. That's doing it 20 times every morning, 20 times every night. That in a week is 1,400 times. You'll have, in a month, you'll have done this 3,000 times. If you do it 20 times in the morning, 20 times at night. I'm a golfer, don't check that math. I mean, we're not great at addition. We're actually pretty good at it. Want to feel that weight transfer? Boom. You want to feel that sink. To help you feel what that feels like, put a pillow up between those legs. Hamstrings are holding this in there. Hamstrings can turn us this way and get our hips turning properly and pivoting for us, instead of feeling like we sway. We want to feel those hips lock in and feel that inside squeeze, so that when we're turning, we're really getting into the inside of this leg, building tension from foot, arch. Jack Nicklaus said he played golf in between his arches, in between his footwork, letting that footwork determine what he was doing in the rest of his swing. So we want to feel like we get back here. Let this golf club really point at the ground. Lots of left bend, right? You can see my chest getting over that right leg. Boom. Then we want to feel load, secondary load. Instead of what most of us do, loading up, right arm, right shoulder, right hand, right wrist, loading up, don't let this do anything. You want to feel like you load down. And we get into external hip rotation. So this knee, when we're going back, my belly button gets closer to that knee. Boom. When we're going through, we want to load and belly button goes away from it. Then we get into the Sam Snead sit. The sit down move has been happening forever. External hip rotation, proper pivot, call it what you may, it's been happening forever, but having this feeling and sensation of when we're back here, loading down. If I was gonna jump, I load down, I push through here, then I push through calves, then I send my arms up and I let go. If I do that in a reverse fashion, you're not going anywhere. I would never try and jump and just swing my arms up or just try and push off my calves. I'm not gonna go anywhere. We gotta tap into the biggest muscles of the body. When we're back here, to really accentuate this move, we're gonna be dramatic about it. Go way down, right? Do some pulses in here so you can feel like you're loading properly. So you can push off of that external rotation, right bend, right? Push off that toe a little bit, or feel like we're pushing off that toe and that hip is going this way, like pushing out that direction, not out that way. We can't feel anything doing there because we haven't pushed off there. So when we feel that external rotation here, starting to go into right bend, boom. This is about where we were at impact, Head hasn't gone anywhere, so I'm allowing myself to bend properly. Boom, 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 and then extension. Extension is where the balance is really held. So this is past impact. I want to feel like I get to here. Holding these positions isometrically will develop a great deal of strength in your body to get to these positions. And when we really focus on these positions isometrically, position at a time, every inch of that swing at a time, we're programming those movements to show up on the golf swing when we're doing the entirety of it, and it starts to feel like slow motion. So once we get from here to here, and left hip starts turning out of the way, turning straight back, not swaying, not going out, turning straight back, engaging hamstring and glute. Right after impact, we want to extend, really squeeze, hold this position forever, man. Get those butts really engaged and squeezing. This is where the balance is held in the golf swing. Then once we go from here, we just want to feel rotation out. This is going to happen in the abdominal, lats, obliques. Just let that rotate us out. Don't let right shoulder ever push through. You're going to do this drill and you're going to feel right shoulder trying to go on itself all day long, moving your head forward. You want to feel like we're back here. Load into that. Push off of that. Push off of that. Let that start turning. Let that really engage and extend up, and then let our body wrap us around and out. Constantly holding here. We want to get to the finish in the golf swing. We want to turn to here, and be able to hold this finish. We want to trust the turn to do everything for us, whether it's half swing turn, full swing turn, crush driver swing turn, tiny little chipping turn. We want to trust the turn to do all the work for us so that our hands can relax, so that they trust our body to go from A to B, from B all the way to C without flinching, trying to help the ball up into the air, letting these muscles do the work. We can start swinging with all left bend, right bend. I can be right here and just feel like I go into left bend, just go into right bend. And you can play pretty dang good golf doing that. If you've done the other drills, teaching the forearm of the left shoulder to just hold the whole time, letting the arms swing, not much. They don't need to go very far. We develop so much consistency in our strike when these muscles, these big muscles of the body and the hips are driving the golf swing. We want to feel like the whole golf swing is just turned. I'll be right here. I'll transfer the weight, turn on up, let go, turn on through. Really squeezing right now. The goal in the golf swing is really to get to the finish. I got this one from Padraig Harrington. So many problems would be fixed if we just got to the finish and could hold the finish. That's where the swing is done. That's when it's all said and done. The more we think about that, the less we think about the ball, the less we try and help it up. The more our body will do the one thing we're telling it to do. That one thing is turn. Turn this way. Turn this way. That's one word, one swing thought. Very simplified. Turn and finish. Let that left hand just hold all day. Turn, finish, feel this squeeze. And more often than not, that ball will be going pretty close to your target if you have allowed this to do the work and we haven't tensed up in the shoulders, flipped with the hands, gotten steep anywhere in that golf swing. Hope you enjoyed it. Trust the turn. Do it all day, wherever you are. Put your hands on your shoulders. Turn, load, turn, bend, squeeze. Done. Beautiful golf swing. Great posture. Allow that turn to be the driving principle, the driving movement in your golf swing. And the more you work on that wherever you are, the more it'll show up in your golf swing, the more the ball will be going where you wanted it to, and the better your experience playing golf will be. Hope you enjoyed it. Take good care. Play well. Yada, yada, yada. Cheers.